Hello, hello, good morning. How is everybody doing? All right. We got Kathy. Hello, hello. Hey, you have an appointment with our team on Monday. That is fantastic. Super excited. You know, I always say this is the time to start because, you know, it's about to be Christmas, Thanksgiving, Turkey Day. It's so easy to fall off track. You know, it's so easy to start gaining a bunch of weight. And, you know, that's not good. We all know that. Let's see. GLP-1 coaching. All right. Eating my protein, gotta get that protein in. You gotta get that protein in. That's fantastic. I can't stress that enough. 1 gram per pound of target body weight. 1 gram per pound target body weight. So how much do you weigh? How much do you want to weigh? I want to weigh 150 pounds. You should be going for about 150 grams of protein. It's that simple. This is probably one of the easiest things to do is to eat high protein. Like it's obviously harder to get to the gym. I mean, you got to get to the gym, but it's harder to get to the gym. It's easier to eat protein. So I can't stress that enough, the importance of eating protein. Tyrone Johnson, you're going to use that number for hookup? What do you mean? You're trying to hook me up with what? Can you use fentanyl? No, you can't use fentanyl, my friend. Yeah, no, I would strongly urge against that. Guys, if you just joined us here, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. And it's pretty cool what we do. My medical practitioners are the ones that prescribe the GLP-1s, semaglutide, Tirzepatide, Retatrutide. We also prescribe powerful fat mobilizing peptides and fat loss peptides like AOD, Semorolin, Tesamorolin, and the growth hormone peptides, the GHK copper for anti-aging and skin health, which is a big deal. And then healing peptides like the Wolverine cycle. So utilizing these peptides effectively, utilizing these peptides strategically is what we do. And this is, I think, what's really cool about our approach is we are focusing on setting people up for success long term. You were kicked out of the flow. What? I don't think I'm not aware of anybody ever getting kicked out. That's super weird. Send me a message on this page and I'll take a look at that. Obviously, let me know what happened. Sometimes we have to moderate posts. I mean, that's definitely, sometimes we have to delete posts I'm not aware of a single person ever getting kicked out. So I doubt that that's the case, but I'll definitely send me a summary of what's going on and I'll have someone take a look at it. I wonder if it was automatic because maybe the payment didn't go through. I have no idea, but we'll definitely take a look at that. Hey, Melissa, I love your lives. Where do you get your Reta from, being that it's not FDA approved yet? So all of the pharmacies that are prescribing this, that are offering 503 Retatrutide, we work with compounding pharmacies. So a lot of the clinics like me, they're working with various compounding pharmacies that offer it. So there's not one in particular. What's the difference between 5-amino with iodine and chloride? You mean the 5-amino 1MQ? And if that's what you're referring to, not much of a difference at all. I don't think there's a difference at all in the function. I think it's still 5-amino 1MQ. And it's just these compounding pharmacies have to make certain formularies in order for the compound to be compounded. Like, for example, Tirzepatide. Usually you'll see it with B12, but you might see it with BPC. You might see it with glycine. I mean, I've seen all sorts of formulas, and none of them really do anything special. At the end of the day, they're Tirzepatide. They're special because they're Tirzepatide, but the compound itself, it's not anything special. That's what I'm referring to. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Let's see. Alice, I've been on GLP-1 for a year and having a hard time to get my proteins in. What foods do you recommend? Well, I recommend that you have a conversation about your dose. I recommend that you have a conversation about your dose, about your strategy, because it might be that you're on too high of a dose. If you're struggling to eat, if you are like literally dragging your feet, trying to get enough food, and you can tell that you're under eating. If it's a constant battle to get enough food in, then you are on too large of a dose. You got to understand that the medication is supposed to suppress your appetite. It's supposed to decrease cravings, decrease the constant food chatter, but it should not be suppressing your appetite so much that you are literally struggling to eat. I can't stress this enough. Guys, this is the biggest issue. This is probably what I want to talk about first today. How often should you take BPC 157? I would do BPC 157 every day, Marie, for like a 3-month cycle at a good dose so that you can actually get an effect. I see people doing too short of a cycle, too low of a dose, and then they feel like it didn't work. Well, that's why it didn't work. So guys, if you just joined us here, welcome. I'm doing great, John. How about yourself, my friend? So I told you a little bit about what we do. My clinic prescribes me. I have a team of coaches. We service all 50 states. We prescribe the peptides, the GLP-1s, the hormone therapies, the autoimmune treatments. Good morning, Arlene. And we do service all 50 states. So if you guys are interested in learning more, if you're tired of doing this on your own, if you have no coaching, no guidance, no structure, no support, no community, you have no idea what you're doing, let me know in the comments, by the way. Are you guys just winging it? Let me know if that sounds like all too familiar, that you don't really know what you're doing, that you really are just winging it. Let me know right now. But if that is you and you want help, I'm gonna make it super simple for you guys. The 229 number is the best way to reach out to my team. 229-441-3562. All you got to do is shoot us a text message. Just shoot us a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up on a free consultation. Arlene, thank you so much. Arlene said she is just winging it. A good magnesium would be glycinate or threonate. If you shoot that number a text message, 229-441-3562, let them know that you want to get set up on a free consult. And then you can have a conversation with my patient advocates who are going to just basically get to know you, your struggles, your histories, and they're going to make a recommendation of how we can help. So if you want to work with me, if you want to work with my team, if you want to get the kind of service that's going to set you up for success, if you want to microdose but no one's teaching you how, if you want to wean off of the large doses but you don't know how, if you're in a weight loss stall and you don't know how to break it, if you want to prevent a weight loss stall from happening If you feel like crap, you're tired, you're brain foggy, you're constipated, and you don't have any solutions for this, you know where to reach me, 229-441-3562. Now, in addition to that, guys, I want to tell you guys about a couple things, a couple of platforms that you guys should be following me on. So go to YouTube right now and type in Dr. Jones DC. If you aren't already following me on YouTube, go to YouTube and type in Dr. Jones DC. I put out 4 videos every single week. So yesterday we just posted our fasting on GLP-1 medication video. I know a lot of people have been asking me, Dr. Jones, can you make a video about fasting? Because this is one of our secret sauce things that we do, is we put people on therapeutic fasting windows. So go to YouTube, type in Dr. Jones DC. Now, if you're watching me on TikTok right now, TikTok is an interesting platform. We like to put out a bunch of short, 60-second, 90-second videos, but we educate on TikTok as well. So if you like to learn, but you like to learn in little bite-sized videos, you need to follow us on TikTok. And these 2 pages right here, guys, if you're watching me on TikTok Live, these are the new TikTok handles. So go real quick, type in search, find those pages, and follow us right now. That way you get notified when I go live. You actually won't get notified when I go live on that page. This page is the page that I go live on. But if you want to follow my TikTok content, and I try to break everything down super rapid but super understandable, then you want to follow those pages. Okay. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. And John, of course, I appreciate you for following me on all the different pages. So, all right. So what a time peptides for diet is different. Yeah, C2315. Peptides are definitely the way of the future. And when done correctly, that's the key. When done correctly, peptides are a game changer. But I think that's the problem right there. Most people just don't know how to approach peptides. That's the problem. Stacy, what is low weight loss that you would suggest, Sloop or MOTS-C? That's a great question. So how much weight should be losing, or how much weight should you be losing? So I think a lot of people have a incorrect expectation, or they have a not ideal expectation, I should say. I like to see about 0.5% to 1% of your body weight loss every week. All right, you guys get that? I want you to lose about 0.5% to 1% per week. That's what I like. That's what I think is sustainable. That's what sets you up for success long term. So that's what I like. I like about 0.5% to 1%. So if you weigh about 200 pounds, I'd like to see you losing about 2 pounds a week at the beginning of your journey. And if that starts to slow down, That's totally fine. Lioness, I'm on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes, PCOS, and you have Epstein-Barr. So we definitely need to focus on insulin resistance, Lioness, and we need to focus on inflammation. That's what we need to do. I know a lot of you guys are asking about prices. So the prices are going to completely vary depending on so many different variables. Are you looking for one-on-one coaching? That obviously costs more. If you want something more affordable, we have our small group coaching. And then how many peptides are you looking to get? Are you looking to stack? Are you looking to do the peptides, the GLP-1s, hormone therapies? Everything is tailored towards you. And so the free consultation is your opportunity to learn, to ask the questions that you need to ask, and to get set up. That's what that is. So, all right. That's what that's for, I should say. Is there a peptide that helps mobilize stubborn body fat? Yes, AOD 9604 and Sloop 332. Yeah, Sloop is pretty amazing if you know how to use Sloop. You have to know how to use Sloop. Use Sloop as a fat mobilizer. use Sloop as a way, you combine it with fasting. Sloop is a pill, by the way. So Sloop 332 is a pill that improves the function of your mitochondria. So you're burning more calories. Lynn, does that answer your question? All you got to do is shoot us a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up on a free consult. Yes, a lot of people are drinking less alcohol because of GLP-1 medication. So a lot of addictive habits, addictive tendencies, people are not having that issue anymore when they go to GLP-1 meds. It's pretty crazy. Is there a pill that helps? There's a peptide that helps with tightening the skin. Yes, I just put out a video last week about it. It's called GHK Copper. So GHK Copper actually upregulates your genes, and it plays various roles directly in collagen synthesis. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, GHK Copper is the holy grail. Honestly, I think GHK Copper might be the most underrated peptide. Yes, Stacy, if you want to get a consultation, if you want to learn more and eventually you want to get started, all you got to do is reach out to us by shooting us a text message. Yes, John, diabetics could also benefit from Sloop 2 as well. Hello on Facebook. Welcome, everybody. What do I think about just training and reducing your food intake? So if you can just start working out and eating less food and eating more healthy, right? Eating less processed foods. If you can just do that and you start losing weight and everything's going great, you don't need peptides. Now, need is an interesting question. Or as an interesting statement, because what's the definition of need? If it's just losing weight, then and you can lose weight without it, then you don't need it. But if you want to improve your health as much as you possibly can, if you want to decrease the likelihood of rebounding and regaining weight loss afterwards, then you need an entire overhaul. And the GLP-1 medications help you do that. The GLP-1 medications help you overhaul your lifestyle if you have a solid plan. Minnie, for HRT, how does blood work get done? Yes, so if you guys are curious about the hormone therapy, we work with Quest, we work with LabCorp. You get your labs done there. We service all 50 states, just so you guys know, and we'll just order the labs and you get the labs done. It's very, very simple process. My thoughts on oral troches. Oral troches are great if the medication is stable. And not every peptide, not every medication can be absorbed through the oral mucosa. The buccal mucosa, not every peptide can be absorbed there. Some of them can. And so for the ones that can be, that's great. Yeah, I think it's great. What's your thoughts on, we talked about that. What is your take on metformin? Metformin is old school diabetes medication that doesn't increase insulin levels. So I actually like metformin. I think metformin is better. I think it's also an interesting compound that might have some anti-aging components to it too as well. But I think ultimately in our clinic, we rarely need to prescribe metformin because you have these powerful GLP-1 meds. So because we have these powerful GLP-1 meds, people do great. GHK Copper is a injection. So you can get it as a cream or you can get it as an injection. But I think it's better to get it as an injection, honestly. If I had recently had the blood work done, would you take a look at them instead of getting them redone? Sure, we would look at them, but likely you didn't get all the labs that we needed. You likely didn't get all the labs that you need, because we don't just need your sex hormones, but we need your metabolic panel, we need your CBC, we need your A1C, we need a complete functional thyroid panel. We also like to look at your insulin, your fasting insulin, your inflammation. We're very thorough, because all of these things matter. Marie, I'm taking Monjaro and I just started BPC. Can I also take Sloop? Absolutely, Marie. I mean, my medical team is going to review your history for sure. But yeah, I mean, Sloop is this is the cool thing about these peptides. When done correctly, the peptides are pretty dang safe. You don't need medication to lose weight. You just need to eat better and exercise. Real MTB addict. Oh man, it's so interesting when people live in their own bubble and they're unable to imagine people have their own bubbles, their own realities. And so it's always so interesting. Yes, many people don't need medication to lose weight, but many people do. You know, that's I hope one day you can begin to appreciate a reality that exists beyond your own. I hope one day that you can begin to understand and appreciate a world that exists outside of your world. Oh man. Good morning, Perry. How are ya? Jules, what is a good peptide for hair loss? There really is no peptide directly for hair loss. There are peptides. GHK copper, I would say, is the closest peptide to that category. You know, hair loss is a comprehensive thing. Are you losing it because of inflammation? Are you losing it because of hair loss? Like there's a lot going on. GHK copper, though, is the most direct hair stimulating peptide that there is. And so if you can identify what the source problem is, address that and add GHK copper, and now you have a dual path towards improving hair growth, and, you know, hair quality. Charlie, let me upload my metabolic panel here and you tell me if it's good. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to review your metabolic panel on a TikTok live, my friend. What is a good peptide for less sulfur burps? There is no peptide. Digestive enzymes. So if you're getting nasty sulfur burps, you're not digesting your food, you're not breaking it down, improving your digestion. So we have some really good broad spectrum digestive enzyme supplements that we can recommend to you. Any peptide to get rid of gray hairs? No. They make hair dye for that, but no peptides. Yeah, you're stuck dyeing your hair for that one. If you biked 100 miles a week, you would lose weight. I bet you $10,000. Oh man, I have a lot of things to say about that. My first question is, do you even have $10,000 to bet? That's my first thought. Hey, Cookie. Super excited for you. I know that you were looking to do this, looking to make the process happen. So I'm excited. I'm excited, and let's kick some butt. Let's kick some butt. I know you're ready. I know you're ready to make this happen, and I'm ready to help you get there. Do you think methylated vitamins are better than none? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You want, almost everybody probably needs methylation support. Some people need it a lot more. You can get genetic tests. You can check homocysteine. Like, there's a couple different ways to evaluate that, but what do you recommend for losing weight and maintaining or gaining muscle? This is where you start getting into hormones as well. So optimizing your testosterone and then growth hormone peptides. So testosterone and growth hormone peptides are the best probably combo if you're looking to recomp and you're looking to, lose fat and build muscle at the same time. But your training absolutely is a very important variable. Can hypothyroid patients take berberine for weight loss? I don't see any particular issue with that from a general standpoint. You're always going to talk to your healthcare provider before adding anything, but hypothyroidism, there's berberine is no contraindication. Neither is metformin, which is kind of like a stronger berberine. You got your lab, yeah, Cookie. Well, at least you're getting started. At least you're getting started, which is great. I always tell everybody, like, you got to get started. You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? What do you suggest from somebody who suffers hormonal acne and needs HRT? Metabolic health. I think metabolic health is probably your best bet. Reducing inflammation, improving insulin resistance. So reducing inflammation and improving insulin resistance is probably the best path towards that hormonal acne. I'm usually wondering if there's PCOS going on. Not always, but usually with acne, you're thinking PCOS. So you're thinking your testosterone levels are higher, and that's usually a symptom of insulin resistance. So I cannot stress this enough. Good morning, Christina. I can't stress this enough. Like, your plan for weight loss, your plan for health improvement needs to include a component of reducing inflammation. It needs to include a component of improving metabolic health. It has to. It absolutely has to. Or you're just kind of spinning your wheels. You know what I mean? Like, how many people do you guys know on these medications that are struggling? How many people do you know that are on the medications that are actually successful long term? Like, what's the definition of successful? I lost a bunch of weight. Okay, cool. Did you lose all the weight you needed to lose? Most of them don't. How are you maintaining that weight loss? Oh, I'm taking the maximum dose still. Okay, so you're taking the maximum dose. You've lost a lot of muscle. You still have a lot of fat on your body. You feel like crap. Would you call that a win? Would you guys call that a win? Because I wouldn't call that a win. I wouldn't call that a win at all. So it's, I think a lot of you guys expected more to happen. I think a lot of you guys expected a better outcome, and unfortunately you were met with reality, and it didn't happen, So the GLP-1 medication is one huge piece of the successful formula, but it's one piece. It's not the entire piece. It's not the entire protocol, if you will, And so, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are just missing the boat on this. Melissa, brain fog seems to be a new issue for me in the past couple weeks. It is more likely a specific nutrient deficiency. So brain fog, tiredness, constipation, feeling cold, achy body. This is not a micronutrient deficiency as much as it is a macronutrient deficiency, meaning it's more likely a deficiency of calories. Your body goes into starvation mode because you're not getting enough calories in over time. The number one cause of the weight loss stall, guys, this is huge. The number one cause of the weight loss stall is starvation mode, AKA battery saving mode, AKA zombie mode. I have a lot of different names for this. I call it zombie mode because you didn't just stall, but you also started developing these symptoms of tiredness, brain fog, constipation, feeling cold. How many of you guys are currently dealing with this right now? Let me know in the comments. Are you currently now that somebody's asking you, because nobody ever has, right? That's another problem. But how many of you guys are dealing with some of these symptoms? Tiredness, brain fog, constipation, feeling cold, achiness, and the results slow down. You stopped losing weight. You're stalled. Let me know in the comments right now. I definitely want to talk about this. And by the way, if you guys just joined us, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics. We service across the nation, all 50 states. My medical practitioners prescribe the peptides, the hormones, all the cool gadgets and wheels, all these fancy tools to help, like the Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound. And then I coach. So I have a team of coaches, and our goal is to actually get you fixed. See that the GLP-1s, they're like a catalyst for change, but the coaching is how you're successful for the rest of your life, okay? And so nobody out there put this together into a comprehensive program. And so I just kind of want to let you guys know that's what we do. And so if you want to work with me, if you want to work with my coaches, if you're tired of struggling, the coaching is done mostly via Zoom calls, Minnie. So we do Zoom. We can do phone calls if you don't like to do Zoom, but we want you to do Zoom. We want to see those faces of yours. We want to see the faces. We want to make this live interaction as much as possible. So yeah, it's mostly Zoom calls. And, I was going to say, I want to see those pretty faces. We want to see those pretty faces of yours and, build that relationship with you, because there's got to be trust. There's got to be trust in this relationship that's built. You need to trust us to help you. You need to trust us to know that we got your back. And that's what this is all about. This is a team and a collaborative effort. So if you guys want to learn more, if you're tired of struggling and doing this on your own, this phone number right here, 229-441-3562. So that number again is 229-441-3562. All you got to do is shoot us a text message. Be sure to include your name and your email, and just let them know that you want to get set up for a free consult. And you'll speak to my team. You'll go through the whole conversation, and then you'll decide. You'll decide if you want to work with us. You totally don't have to if you're not ready. But if you are ready, let's kick some ass. Let's freaking do this. That's my motto. Okay. Oh, and by the way, couple things. If you're following me on TikTok, you see these two handles right here on TikTok. If you guys are watching me on TikTok Live, those are my two new TikTok pages. Unfortunately, TikTok likes to play this game where they say, account banned. It's a game that TikTok likes to play with me. And then I have to play the game, and I have to make new accounts. It's really annoying. I don't like this game, but unfortunately, I don't get to choose the rules. So here I am. And so if you guys like my short educational 60, 90-second videos, these right here are my actual new handles. So right now, if you're watching me on TikTok Live, go find Metabolic Method, Progress Over Perfect. Go find that, follow that page, because we put out 3 videos of on each page on different topics that I teach about every single day. And then more importantly, so if you follow my TikToks, make sure you then follow our YouTube page. So the YouTube page is where you're going to get my long form content. That's where you're going to learn the most. So you type in Dr. Jones DC, and then you give us a follow, turn on that bell. You don't want to miss anything there. I put out about 4 videos every single week. Any peptide good at making ice cream? Not a peptide, but you should get yourself the Ninja Creamy. The Ninja Creamy is definitely the best tool to make some healthy protein ice cream. My favorite Ninja Creamy recipe is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch ice cream that I make. Yeah, what you know about that Cinnamon Toast Crunch protein ice cream? That is delicious. I make that, and there's a secret recipe to that one. That's definitely one of my cheat recipes. And it tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's chock full of protein, and it's creamy. Does Tirzepatide handle food noise better than Retatrutide? Yes, it does. That's what I notice. Consistently, that's what I notice. Tirzepatide handles the food noise better. And so Retatrutide is powerful, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people ultimately end up struggling, and it sucks, you know? So I don't think the upside is there. I don't think it makes sense to do that. Every time somebody hearts you, they float up to the fireplace. Oh, really? I don't know. I have no idea why it does that. Good morning, Angel's mom. Is GLP-1 and HRT safe? Absolutely. If you need HRT, I mean, that's a total game changer. If you need HRT, it's a total game changer. Monica, if you're losing that much weight on Retatrutide, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Wicked freckles. Well, if Dr. Google says it must be so, then it must be so. You know what I mean? Like, I can't argue with Dr. Google. So, you know, what do I know? I just work with physicians and prescribe real life patients. That's all I know. But I can't argue with Dr. Google. So, yeah, and the NIH, I mean, what's their track record been so far too as well? How many organizations have told us phenomenal information? The Women's Health Initiative trial, trusted organization, said that women shouldn't touch hormone therapy for about 40 years, 50 years. You know, so just because they got some fancy credentials, you got to be careful with what authority you give them and what level of trust. Same thing with me. I mean, I'm not saying I feel pretty confident in this space, but you're going to have to figure it out on your own, you know? So Clo and Glow, and we have some promotions, by the way, guys, on the Clo and Glow and Wolverine peptides. So Glow is GHK copper, BPC 157, TB 500, and then Clo also has the KPV, which is very powerful anti-inflammation peptide. And so real quick, guys, before I hop off, because I got to go start my day, I know some of you guys are asking how do I get started? How do I learn more? How do I get these peptides going? This phone number right here is how you start your journey, 229-441-3562. Shoot us a text message. Let them know. Be sure to include your name in your email. You'll get an automatic booking link response back. That's how you start this process. That's how you start this journey, guys. And again, I just want to say my goal is to help you guys achieve lasting weight loss. My goal is to help you achieve optimal health using the lowest doses of medications, using the lowest doses of peptides. I want you to build a foundation of lifestyle change. That's what me and my coaches do every single day. And so if that resonates with you, if you guys want some help, if you're tired of struggling doing this on your own, there you go. I'll get off my soapbox. You guys have a great Saturday, and we'll see everybody later. 229-441-3562. Make sure, again, you follow me on YouTube, Dr. Jones DC on YouTube. Thank you, Jules. Dr. Jones DC, and these 2 pages right here are the 2 new TikToks. So definitely, I put out 3 TikToks a day on each page. I try to give as much free information out there about dosing, about weight loss stalls. All of that is on TikTok as well. So some people like short videos, some people like long videos. So that's why I do both. But I put out a ton of information completely free to help you guys out. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.